Well, welcome all. Today's class is going to be about increasing tolerance. Okay, so increasing tolerance is today's class, and I just want to give you a definition of how to increase kind of our window of tolerance. And that can be tolerance for what's going on, tolerance for emotional tolerance, pain tolerance, cognitive tolerance, just increasing this space to be in. So, to increase tolerance is developing greater capacity to be with and effectively respond to a broader range of emotions and sensations. Okay. Developing a greater capacity to be with and effectively respond to a broader range of emotions and sensations, even when things aren't going too well. So I'm going to start with a reading from Dana Fouts, who is a lovely poet, and it is called Hope is Born Again. And I think this kind of aligns with tolerance. Oh, I know it's cold outside, well below freezing, a dry cold that catches in the throat. It's cold, all right, especially when the wind blows. But listen to the birds. They know that spring is coming. Listen to the oscillating tune of finches, the spring trill of a titmouse on the feeder. Cardinals sing as if dawn depends upon them hitting the high notes. The birds haven't seen the small green shoots poking through the dirt yet. They haven't ordered garden seeds or planned raised bed plantings in their dreams. But they know that winter is on the way out, the cold retaining only a temporary hold now. The birds know that hope is born again long before the promise of flowers. The birds know that hope is born again long before the promise of flowers. So this practice today, and I'm going to go back to my mat, can be done in a chair or seated on the floor. We will come from seated on the floor to standing, but again, any standing poses can be done on the chair as well. Okay. So I love that this practice can be adaptive to all of us. So we're going to just first start with a body scan. There. Starting point at any time that may be there at this moment, just as it is. You can have your eyes open or closed and allow that sweep. If you find a place of discomfort, tension, pain, or even a place that you do not notice sensations, there's an aspect of curiosity and compassion. Two of the most important C's is that we're curious about what we're feeling, but we're also compassionate toward it. So let's just take a moment. Allow your mind to just travel through your body, noticing what you notice just as it is, without trying to change it, without giving it a good or bad rating, just noticing. And even in the noticing, with this soft awareness, there is change happening, maybe under your radar. And then we're going to bring our attention, that soft awareness, to our breath. Begin to notice as you breathe in and out. Maybe feeling that air right there at the portal of your nostrils down to the lungs. And then the outward flow of air just as it is, arriving on the awareness of breath. There may be qualities to your breath of depth or pace or length, even a temperature to the air moving in and a temperature to the air moving out of your body. And whether this is the first time that you've sat with your breath or the 100th, it's always a new experience. There's always something to learn and be curious about. So we're moving in from the awareness of the breath to a breathing practice called longer, smoother, softer breath. And this is one in particular that I use with pain care. Um, so the first quality is to make your breath longer. Okay? And longer for you may be an extra second, an extra beat to your breath, both in and out. And it's long enough that you're feeling a little more fullness and expansion as you breathe in and release as you breathe out, but you're still calm and easeful. Okay. So I'm going to guide you through the longer part of this breath. So start to breathe in just a little bit longer with just the right amount of effort. And then breathe out just a little bit longer. Again, the right amount of effort. Breathing in a little bit longer. Maybe you feel your body receive that breath. Breathing out a little bit longer, feeling your body releasing tension. You can even say to yourself longer as you breathe in, and say to yourself longer as you breathe out. Bringing your breath in a little longer may lengthen the spine. Breathing out a little bit longer, you may feel this weight shift down toward the earth. And do one more, longer in and longer out. We'll continue to make the breath longer, but layer upon the quality of smoother. So how to make your breath smoother, like one long, consistent stream of breath, both in and out. So let me guide you through this as well. So as you bring the breath in a little bit longer, make it also a little smoother. And as you breathe out, longer and little smoother. One consistent stream of air in, one consistent stream of air out. Smoother in the beginning, in the middle and end of your breath, smoother when it comes out. You can even repeat to yourself longer, smoother as you breathe in, and repeat to yourself longer, smoother as you breathe out. Notice how your body receives this longer and smoother breath in, and how it releases maybe tension, longer and smoother breath out. So in this way, just to go back to tolerance, we're increasing our tolerance. Our breath is one way to dive into increasing our window and the ability to develop greater capacity, right? We're developing greater capacity with our breath here. And the last quality is softer. So a softer, whether that means softness like a blanket, softness like a pet's fur, conjuring up that feeling of softer. We'll start by breathing in a little bit longer, smoother, and add softer. As you breathe out, longer, smoother, softer. Just the right amount of effort, breathing in, longer, smoother, softer. Breathing out, longer, smoother, softer. Remembering to be as easeful if you can. And if it's not feeling that way, maybe just take a rest and come back to your natural rhythm of breath. You can say to yourself, longer, smoother, softer as you breathe in, and same as you breathe out, longer, smoother, softer. Let's take one more in, longer, smoother, softer, and one more out, longer, smoother, softer. And we're going to come back to this breath as we come toward the standing or more of the movement. But let's bring our hands to your center. So my hand is at the heart, my other hand is at my solar plexus. This is where I feel my center is of my body. And from our center, which is a centering practice, we're going to start to mobilize and expand. So expand our tolerance and start to move arms maybe in and out, maybe expanding and then drawing back into your center. And this movement can be any direction, any height, any length that feels right for you. We move with breath. So when we expand, maybe there's a feeling of the breath moving in. And as we bring the hand or hands back, there's a feeling of the breath moving out. Maybe both arms want to expand. So this is part of increasing that capacity to be, right? To be with pain, to be with suffering, to be with joy, to be with health and abundance and gratitude and love. So, any way that your arms, we're just moving from the arms right now, but if you're ready for maybe your head to move, right? And we get to immobilize the body and then kind of yield back to our center. And if your spine wants to start to move, you can allow maybe a little contraction as you come back to your center and expansion. And you're moving where it feels pleasurable, where it's pleasant. Breath can still flow, where the thoughts are easeful. And perhaps your movements want to even turn to a side and add a bit of a twist, expanding, and then coming back to our center, to our calm. Good. We're just going to do this for about 30 more seconds. More of a warm up this morning, right? You can even reach a little bit side to side, maybe. And the fingers, like play with your fingers a little bit for these last 30 seconds. Wiggle them, roll the wrists out, discover sounds. Mine are doing a little pops this morning. My wrists are. Dance a little bit. If anyone's a dancer here, dance a little bit. And we're going to take last 10 seconds to just move any way that feels good to you. You don't need my permission. Give yourself permission to just move in a way that feels good. We're going to take one more expand. Yeah, so grounding. So beautiful. Good. All right, releasing the hands. So this is where we'll make a transition to standing if you want to come to standing. If you're still seated in the chair, you can do this next part of the practice in your chair as well. And I have a chair here that I can demonstrate some of the things that we're going to do. And I'm just going to move my blanket. So if you have anything that you're sitting on, go ahead and move that. All right. So hopefully you can still see me. Um, I still have my socks on, so it's a practice you can still do with your socks. So whether you're seated in a chair or standing, we're going to come to mountain pose. Okay. So standing mountain pose, we kind of align ankles, knees, hips, shoulders up here. Same thing seated. If I was seated, I would align my knees and ankles, hips and shoulders all, all kind of stacked. And come back to your center again. So we made a transition to standing or to your seated mountain. We want to return to that calm center. And when we feel a calm center, we sense safety, connection. All right. And then releasing the hands to the side. These are going to be sun breaths. Where I am in the Philadelphia region, it's finally sunny, still windy though. So the sun breaths, we're going to reach the arms out and overhead as far as they go. Maybe they don't come up all this way. Maybe they come up 3/4 of the way. And this is also a nice way to practice that longer, smoother, softer breath. So if you want to repeat to yourself, breathing out longer, smoother, softer, breathing in longer, smoother, softer. We're trying to match the length of our breath with the movement of the arms, both in and out. Do you feel the sides of your body growing taller and longer? Beautiful. Like wings, right? Feeling the shoulder blades on your back moving. Nice. This is our last one, and then we'll meet with the arms down by the side again. And just feel yourself back in that mountain pose, resting, connected to the floor, either through the feet or the feet and your sit bones if you're on a chair. All right, so this next one will combine a little bit of joint freeing as well as balance. Okay, again, you can do this from the chair, but we're just going to take one foot up. See, I have my heel up, and I'm just going to make some circles. So your toes can roll under, or the toes can be flat on the floor, and you're just circling. So you're kind of getting into the hip, kind of little the knee, a lot of the ankle and the foot and the toes. And circle in the other direction. Nice. Good. And then we'll do the same thing with the other foot. So you shift your weight to that other standing, and we start to just circle, whether the toes are kind of folded under or flat to the floor. And we'll circle in the other direction as well. Great. And then as we bring that heel down, we're going to come down here and begin to circle the knees. Okay. If you're seated in the chair, you can just start to take one knee around in a circle. And then when we switch directions, you can do the other knee. So we're going to do the knees here. Yeah. So feel the muscles of the legs engaging. And circle in the other direction. Almost like we're doing the Charleston. All right. All right. And coming up, maybe you take a slightly wider stance if you're standing. If you're in the chair, you can keep the legs in that hip distance and begin to circle the hips. The circles are so nice. They're moving that synovial fluid into the joints of the body, increasing the circulation. Yeah. And circle in the other direction. So as we move through this practice, this is more the mobilization, getting the blood to flow, using some strength and balance. Great. All right. From here, We're going to come back to that standing mountain. Just take a moment to find that center, the ground. I call it the anchor as well. Like, what is your anchor? An anchor doesn't mean that you're stuck. An anchor, if you think of a boat, it keeps you tethered, it keeps you safe from drifting away, but you still have the ability to move, right? In a safe way. All right. So this is going to be a little bit of a balance pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift our weight to one foot and step the other one out, and then bringing it back. And then we're going to shift, and you can have your hands at your hips here. So this is working with proprioception, which is where is our body in space and time? And keep going if you're standing, but if you're in the chair, bringing a foot out and then back, and bringing a foot out and back. You can look where your foot is going if that supports your ability to place it back there. Or this will be a real challenge today for me, but maybe closing your eyes and just feeling where your foot lands and how the muscles engage to not only step out the foot, but bring it back. Yeah. If you want to add arms, maybe you go up and down and up and down, right? If you want a little more challenge today, you can bend a leg. Nice. We're going to do this for about 10 more seconds, so maybe 3 or 4 more. So you may be noticing a little heat building up. So we're just slowly increasing our capacity, right? To be with a little more sensation. All right. And find center. Maybe hands come back to ground and anchor yourself again. Sensing how we flow into mobilization and movement and back to calm. All right. So this next one is goddess pose. So I'm going to demonstrate from the chair first. So goddess pose is the legs are a little bit out, okay? And from a standing posture, the legs are a little bit out, the heels in, toes out, okay? And goddess is right here. And we'll start with the hands at the heart. Good. And as you inhale, press and open into this beautiful 5-pointed star. And as you breathe out, come back to the heart. Beautiful. And you can do this from the chair, just extending arms. Your legs may stay in that same goddess position, but your arms sweep open. Beautiful. I like to do the longer, smoother, softer here as well. Breathing in, longer, smoother, softer. Breathing out, longer, smoother, softer. It's like we're doing pliés, right? It's been a while since I've done ballet. All right, let's do 2 more after this. So you can see we're building up a little more heat, right? We're increasing our window of tolerance. Last one. And finish strong in your 5-pointed star. Take up a lot of space. And let it go. Walk the feet back in, shake it out a little bit. Awesome. Yeah, it's a big difference between last week and this week. Okay, if you've been with me several weeks, we're building up here, building the tolerance toward resiliency. All right. So the last standing thing or seated in the chair that we're going to do is a little bit of a balance. So I'm going to invite you to bring your left foot over your right. Now I have my toes down. Okay, if you want to bring up on your tippy toes or even lift your toes off the ground, this is not quite a full eagle pose, but I'm going to stay with my foot on the ground. If you're in the chair, you can just cross one ankle over the other. And then we're just going to bring ourselves to a hug. Your hug can hold on to your arms. Your hug can wrap underneath the armpits, maybe around the ribs or the belly, wherever you feel comfortable. Relaxing the shoulders and the neck. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. This is where longer, smoother, softer is awesome. All right. Now note what arm and leg are there because we're going to switch sides. So bring that leg back, shake out the standing leg that was holding you up so nicely. And we'll take it over to the other side. Great. And I had to remember which one I had on top. Again, you can be on the tippy toes or the foot is completely down, or maybe you want to challenge your balance by lifting that foot off the ground. And relax the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in, maybe longer, smoother, softer. Feel the hug that you're giving yourself here for 1 more breath. Maybe give yourself a little squeeze. And as you exhale, release. Shake out that standing leg. Nice. Okie dokie. So for those that are standing, start to make your way down to the earth again, which in itself is very grounding. We are going to finish with a short breathing practice of breathing up and down. In yoga, there are energy of nerves, okay? And so we're going to breathe into all these spaces of the chakras or the nervous center plexuses. And I'll guide you through a couple of them and then you can just breathe up and down. So basically, we're going to begin with the root of your spine, the base of your spine, then breathe into the navel area, then breathe into the solar plexus, then to the heart, then to the throat. Looks like I'm choking myself. Then to the space between the eyebrows and right up to the crown of the head. And then as you breathe out, just wash the breath out, releasing tension. Okay. So I'll guide you again a couple more times, and then you can just kind of go on your own for about 5 or 6 breaths. So breathe into the base of your spine, the root, into your navel center, into your solar plexus, into your heart, into the base of your throat, space between the eyebrows, crown of your head. One long, sweeping, smooth breath out, releasing tension. Root, navel center, solar plexus, heart, throat, space between the eyebrows, crown of the head, release. Even can be through the mouth. And one more time, I'll guide you. Root, navel center, solar plexus, heart, throat, space between the eyebrows, crown of the head. Maybe take 3 more breaths on your own. And 1 more. Letting that one go. For a moment, just notice how you feel. Ooh. Yeah, maybe a little tired, maybe present. Let's bring our palms to heart space, an Anjali Mudra. Anjali is a word for the heart mudra, bowing in and remembering as our bird friends, there is hope. There is hope. Thank you so much for sharing your morning, everybody. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. May it be a beautiful one. Namaste.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. I'm going to scoot up, and if there's anything you want to share before we lose everybody here, please do.